stimulating. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Paper Mario. This is pretty. Although a bit precarious, I don't think I'd actually want to stand out here. That bridge looks like it's the most unsafe thing I've ever seen. Look at those jagged ice blocks below. If we fall off this thing, we're gonna die a horrible death. Maybe we shouldn't think about it too much. Oh. Who's that forming within the auroras? I see. So you just work for Bowser, even though you claim you're a king. I suppose kings have to follow their gods. Do you think of Bowser as a god? With his ice powers, I imagine. He seems right within his element here. HP 70, okay. So this fellow here is a little bit challenging. If you're not really expecting what's going to happen, I can see you getting easily pummeled here. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, sort of like the palace itself. And you don't want to underestimate him. He's not too difficult when you know what you're doing, but otherwise he can be a little bit scary. When I was young, I died to this guy like 5 times before I knew how to actually fight him. He's considered somewhat of an ensemble dark horse for the Paper Mario series. People seem to like this character quite a bit. The first thing we ought to do is lower his attack power, because he can do quite a big hit on you if you let him do it. So let's reduce his attack power first, just to give ourselves a little bit of a protection. So you can imagine how devastating that sort of attack would be if you didn't do that. Assuming he doesn't have any normal defense, which he doesn't seem to, we can do that and give ourselves a little bit of a start here. But as I was saying, he does seem to be a bit of an ensemble dark horse for the series, and if you don't know what that means, it basically means that he's a rather popular character despite being a little bit minor. He's just summoning more of his little guys. I suppose it's because of his somewhat mysterious background, or perhaps the design. Maybe people dig the no biological components except for the eyes visible thing. For all we know, we were fighting haunted clothes, which would very well be the case considering the series we're in. Also, it seems as though the only thing that matters, like with the chill out thing, the only thing that matters is if he gets hit. It looks like the ice bits don't actually do anything on their own. Or if they do, I haven't seen it myself. He usually shoots them before he has an opportunity to do anything with them. So attacking them is more or less pointless unless you're doing like a attack multiple things attack. Like maybe if you used the air raid move, or perhaps one of Bombette's more powerful explosives, that would work. There goes that, and I think we ought to do something about the fact that his chill out is now gone. Is it ironic that he's more powerful because he's no longer chilled? Or is it just a terrible pun? I can't entirely tell. So the key here is to chip away his HP while maintaining your own. The easier ways to do that is to try to defend yourself in whatever way possible. Also, he'll arbitrarily heal himself 20 points sometimes, so that can set you back quite a bit if you're not prepared for it. Since we're only allowed to use one of these things once per chapter, when we're fighting the boss, now seems like a pretty appropriate time to actually use it. Also, by forcing him to get rid of those little ice bits there, it also forces him to do something else other than shoot them at you. Sometimes he'll summon more, and sometimes he'll do this. That's a very powerful move. You don't want to allow yourself to be exposed to it like what I did. Especially when you're forced to have one less defense power than you normally do. Fortunately, I was also wearing the Feeling Fine badge, which I believe prevents status effects, which again I can thank to you, the viewers, because that's a good idea. However, we're in a bit of a bind, too. Because we're wearing the protection badge that protects you against attacks when you're at 5 HP or lower, that gives us a little bit of an extra defense. but that's still not something that you'd want to rely on when you're fighting a boss. So I think it might be good to try to give ourselves a bit more strength here now. First of all, let's get rid of those ice bits. Because when you get rid of those, well, the best case scenario is that he will try to form some more, and that'll waste an entire turn on his part. The other obvious thing we want to do at this point is heal, so let's go ahead and take care of that as well. So this fight isn't too bad as long as you stay on top of things. We've got it down to 27, and yeah. If you protect yourself, you're a little bit more safe, but you don't really want to rely on that, or you don't want to rely on dropping below 5 HP. It's useful, but it's not somewhere you want to be for very long. Although if you want to conserve your if you want to conserve your healing powers, then it might be a good idea to invest yourself in a little time. See, he healed there, which technically meant that we get a, we don't have to worry about being attacked, but the other issue is that it makes the fight last much longer. A good tactic, if he were smart, would be to just keep healing himself until we eventually ran out of FP and items. Then he can catch us while our guard is down. Since we're in a little bit of trouble, I figure if we give ourselves an extra point of defense, plus the extra defense that we get now, or where we would have it now if it weren't for that drain badge that keeps coming into play like that, it would protect us a little bit more, so if we were doing really weak attacks, I don't think they'd actually be able to hit us. This is the part where I sort of decided what to try to do, and I think I eventually decided on Squirt. Yes. However, I soon learned that water doesn't really do that much damage to an ice enemy. In fact, it more or less fuels them, so that's not a good idea. On the other hand, it looks like he's using his more serious moves because he's down to so little HP. At this point, we're just going to hit him with everything because it's the easiest way to determine which one's the real one. Of course, we have to waste some of our items, but I don't think it's considered a waste if using it in battle. Do we need to use one of these? Let's see. Let's not. You flop your soft belly on his sharp, pointy crown and not get hurt somehow. See, there's that extra defense kicking in right now. Now we're down to 2, so that's not really good either. But at the very least, that defense should come into play, because otherwise we'd be in peril. Although I think we get a lot more defense when we're in peril because of our badge setup. I don't entirely remember. What to do, we're running out of options. Let's use this again, I suppose. What am I banking on? Should we use our last bubbles? Looks like we're going to use our last bubbles, ladies and gents. They've served us well for as long as they have, but it seems their time is up. Yeah, at this point it'd be kind of worthless to switch out a partner character, since I think if we play our cards right, he'll be defeated in the next turn or so. Okay, for a second I was worried he was going to actually heal himself again. Maybe he can only do it so many times before he runs out of power to do that. I'm not sure. I think 3 times is what I heard once, but I don't know. Ah, man. This is post-commentary. If I were smart, I would have used the Fire Flower, because it might have done more damage against him, plus it's a much less valuable item. And then just have Sushi do the finishing move, like right here. Well, okay, that might not have worked. But hey, we get a level up! And for the first time since the last 2 years or so, we can finally level up our HP. God, it's been a while since we started this adventure. See, we can't upgrade anything else, so HP is our final option. So let's bring it up to 20. I think it's the first time we've upgraded that since Koopa Brothers Fortress. Wow, that was before the challenge started. But more importantly, with that level up and that defeat of the Ensemble Dark Horse that is the Crystal King, we may at long last retrieve our final star spirit. It's been a very, very long time coming. A momentous occasion indeed, ladies and gents. We've recovered all the star spirits, and one leg of our adventure is officially complete. So that means, everyone, that there's only one place left to go now that we've saved everybody except for one. Or perhaps saved every star spirit except for one final task. I worded that wrong. I'm sorry, I botched things! Off and on. Sometimes you help, sometimes you don't. But she certainly helps a lot more than you, Twink. Or at the very least, a lot more than what you could possibly do. You have so much more potential, and you're not letting us do it, Twink. You better have some sort of plan, Twink, considering you've rejected our current, probably better plan. Cuddly old Bowser's here. Put that into context. Bowser walks into her room and calls himself Cuddly as he approaches her. Harsh. That's not a good way to approach her. You're stuck with me, beautiful, gorgeous babe, so why don't you just deal with it? There are quite a few relationships that are just like that, and none of them turn out well. Usually. Unless she's into that sort of thing, but she usually isn't. Friendly indeed. Of course there's a chance. We wouldn't have been wasting your time if there wasn't a chance. I feel like you would have had better luck launching the stars into space, or burying them deep underwater or something. That might have been more challenging for Mario to retrieve. Actually, even if it isn't space, Mario's had a history of grabbing the star spirits. Surely there must be better options for you, somewhere. Anyway, it looks like our final plans are being set in motion, or his plans are being set in motion. Well, there goes whatever plan he had concocted. We've had many opportunities to escape, and I suppose because we squander them all, this is happening now. Oh well.